What is up? What is up, YouTube? Check this out. Breaking news, man. Justin Bieber is exposing Hollywood. We are at Candace. Shout out to Candace. We are at her channel. I'm assuming she did this live. Justin Bieber, man, poor thing. First of all, y'all gotta everybody knows that all his fans and everything are like they feel sorry for him, man. I think he was groomed by one of the number one people, and he just wanted stardom and fame and wanted to do the work in the music industry, and he was willing to do anything to make it work. So the grooming started at a young age, and I think that really the older he got, the more his feelings toward women and girls and stuff, because he married somebody, he has a son or has a kid. I'm trying to make sure I keep the story right, but he got tired. He got tired of being a toy for people. I do a lot of research on this stuff, and I don't know in this whole hour what he's going to expose, but some of the research that I've been doing, I actually found out allegedly that he had to go on vacation with some rich men. Allegedly, he was like a toy, so in order to get these big parts, I'm finding out that to get these big parts in the music industry, these major concerts and all this type of stuff, you got to do favors for people. And he got tired of it. He just got tired of it, man. I think Usher allegedly probably did more favors for a longer period of time because he wanted that super duper stardom. So I noticed all of a sudden Justin was big, and all of a sudden, shoo, you don't hear nothing about his concerts. You don't hear nothing about this little kid. Next thing you know, he's grown. He's grown. I said, what happened to this Justin dude? He was killing it. He was a big, super, mega, super duper star. Then all of a sudden, nothing. No Super Bowl, none of that stuff. Anyway, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit that bell. Let's see. This is breaking news, so let's check it out, man. She like to start off with this whole thing. How you? Yeah. Here we go, y'all. Here we go.
All right, guys, happy Tuesday. There is so much going on right now in the world. In politics, we have to talk about the Tesla terror attack because there are a ton of conspiracy theories. And of course, I subscribe to some of them. Also, Mark Zuckerberg says that they are getting rid of Facebook fact checkers because apparently they realized they made a big mistake. I'm not sure if I believe him. In culture, though, we have Justin Bieber must speak about this, you guys. He's apparently unfollowed all of his closest Hollywood managers, even the bodyguard, in a sign that some people are saying is more evidence of the Diddy fallout. And speaking of Justins, I really hope that we're going to have time to get to Justin Baldani and Blake Lively, but I don't feel like we will. Anyways, let's get started. Welcome back to Candace. Okay, bias is on the table. I don't believe that people are unbiased when they report the news. I am a believer, okay? I've always liked Justin Bieber. I liked his music, and then I was really sad to see him go the Hollywood route. Anyways, for those of you who don't really follow Justin Bieber, it's hard not to, but I'm gonna give you a little bit of his backstory. So Justin Bieber got discovered when he was just 13 years old on YouTube. He was so cute. He was just a little baby. It's really incredible to
13.
contextualize just
13.
how young he was when he landed upon fame. Here's a throwback for all the believers out there.
So cute.
Okay, you get it. He was just absolutely adorable, obviously, and the young ladies absolutely flocked to him. He was discovered at that time by 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦, again, just 13 years old. And so you can say 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦 has literally been with Justin Bieber basically throughout his entire life. And I mean, through relationships, drug addictions, and finding love with his now wife and mother of his young son, Jack. His wife, of course, being Hailey Bieber. Long career, long relationship. Okay. Well, over the last few years, we have seen Justin Bieber suddenly crying a lot in public, often with his wife, Hailey, and many people wondered what was really going on behind those tears. Some people speculated it was them and they were breaking up, but I didn't get that gut instinct. Rather, it seemed to me that as he was making his way back to God, almost back to reality, suddenly he became very emotional, because that kind of happens for people that go through addictions and they're finding their sobriety and they're reflecting on who they were throughout those addictions. You will have these emotional breakdowns. And when it came to Justin Bieber, people wanted to know, what were those breakdowns really about? Okay. And so I'll give you just one example of what I'm speaking about. He did an interview back in 2020 with Zane Lowe. I think this was on Apple Music. And he was speaking about another young artist that was coming up, Billie Eilish, and Eilish. And he was basically speaking about how he wanted to protect her because she was now another young person, a rising artist in the industry. And sort of out of nowhere, he became quite overcome with emotion. Take a listen.
Did you feel protective of her?
Yeah, I definitely feel protective of her. It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So, yeah, it's hard because I want her to know that, she can count on me. But at the end of the day, I'm never going to force myself to be in a relationship with her. It has to be natural, right? So I just kind of, let her do her thing. And if she ever needs me, I'm going to be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments, because people take for granted encounters and
it's hard to
say
what you want to say without saying it.
I just want to protect her,
Protect her from what?
I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to, go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. So, yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
I'm not even kidding. Watching that clip makes me emotional because he is saying so much without really saying anything. Protect Billie Eilish from what? From who? What is he so concerned about when he sees this young person in the industry? What exactly did he go through? Well, I think I have an idea, because just 2 years after being a 13-year-old, getting his entire career, seeing this little hopeful, joyful, young 13-year-old, Justin Bieber turned 15, and it suddenly seemed that Hollywood was keen to almost initiate him. I think that's the right word. Like, there was almost like this initiation that he needed to go through. So I want you to be now super uncomfortable and watch this video of an interaction between him and none other than Diddy. Take a listen.
Wow. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher. I'm signed to Usher. I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
We're going crazy.
So young Justin Bieber, who was signed by Usher, involved with 𝗗𝗢𝗡𝗞𝗦, now all of a sudden he's being put in the hands of Diddy, who, it is true, he became the legal guardian for Usher. You can look up all of the allegations of what Diddy did to Usher. A lot of this coming out via multiple lawsuits that Essentially, if we were to put it in a nice context, or at least use a euphemism for something that's really disgusting, the allegations are essentially that Diddy very much initiated Usher into Hollywood. And as we are going through these lawsuits and Diddy is in prison, we are recognizing that everybody knew this was an open secret about what Diddy was doing. So it just begs question, who allowed Justin Bieber to be in the presence of this man, knowing what he was up to, allegedly up to? That seems to be very clear, that there is some veracity to those claims. Anyways, I want to also just show you this montage. This is a montage that was shared by Evie Magazine. They do great work.
See, the part that tripped me out is any 15-year-old would have loved to be in Justin's shoes, to be around a person like a Puffy, to be around a person like a Usher, to be around the music star elites. That would be a dream come true. I'm like, everybody looking at him like he is so lucky. And they are preaching to him that you're lucky. But in order to be here, to keep up your lucky, you need to pay a price. And this is where it all goes wrong at. Yeah.
On their TikTok of Justin Bieber, again, just
there.
15 years old, in Hollywood, surrounded by a bunch of adults. And you let me know if any of this registers to you as normal. Take a listen.
Look at this. Oh, my God. Oh, man, I can't. We got to take that out. We got to take that out some kind of way. I got to remember 11 o'clock.
Wow. I feel violated right now. Wow.
Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
I don't ever remember smelling that good at 16. Like that was bad.
That is
Wow,
so...
look at your eyes. Yeah, look at what a beautiful face. All right.
Oh my
Now
God,
it's time
he can't help
Would you
himself.
rather
That is stupid.
you have to be naked on stage during one full song, or drink a cup of blended worms? Answer, Justin Bieber.
I have like little girl fans. I can't go.
Okay, imagine that.
You know, I got
Oh, that's messed up.
Hey, this is a brand new.
Has anyone given you the sex talk yet? I mean, like, I really don't want to have that conversation with my mother. Yeah. Like, I've kind of had it with my father.
You want to hear? Oh, really? See, my parents never gave me the sex talk.
Okay.
That last one is really just the sickest, asking a...
No, that's not the sickest. The sickest one is the dude smelling him. That's like a fetish. I'm smelling a little kid, and I'm getting and the people who are into this little kid's fetish. I just did a reaction to I'm studying all this stuff, and it's a group of people, a group of men who like little boys. And this is the stuff they talk about and fantasize behind. So this guy is satisfying that group of men. That's exactly what that was. And he touched them and everything. It's like, and this group of men is like, oh, I sure wish I was there just to touch him. This is some nasty crap, man. Nasty
With my
crap.
father. You want to hear? Oh, really? See, my parents never gave me the sex talk.
Okay.
And
that last one is really just the sickest, asking a young teenage boy whether or not he's had the sex talk. Like, he's doing a media hit on a radio, and she's asking him as one of the questions, like, have you had the sex talk? This is Hollywood for you guys. This is what I've been speaking to you about, and it has just become so unbelievably clear that it is dark and it is demonic. And so it's not exactly shocking that within no time, Justin Bieber was hooked on drugs. Okay. He spoke about this openly. He was reflecting on this time period, saying that he first became dependent on marijuana when he was 13 years old. And then thereafter, he found himself, quote, sipping lean, popping pills, doing Molly, shrooms, everything throughout his teenage years. And we can definitely bet, after having seen some clips of him partying with Diddy and learning of what these lawsuits are
13,
alleging,
14,
that essentially there were drugs that were intentionally put in the drinks, that there was this pink cocaine. You know, we've gone through a lawsuit plenty of times. We can imagine that perhaps Justin Bieber was introduced to some drugs that he didn't even know that were being introduced to him. But all of that changed for him when he met and began dating and got engaged to Hailey Bieber. This really became a happy story. He started journeying through faith, spending a lot of time with pastors. Again, going back to those breakdowns he was having, he seemed to be pulling away from his old Hollywood circles. Him and Hailey got married in September of 2019. And then I noticed something really weird last year. Now, I want to be clear. You guys obviously know, if you listen to this podcast, that my brain works in very weird ways. I notice things that people are not noticing, okay? I'm essentially that training scene. If you guys have seen Men in Black, the movie, Will Smith's character is essentially being tested. All of these agents are taken into this simulated target process where they're supposed to shoot at these cardboard aliens. And then suddenly Will Smith, out of nowhere, shoots a cardboard little girl. I'm going to show you that clip because this is me. Take a listen.
May I ask why you felt little Tiffany deserved to die?
Well, she was the only one that actually seemed dangerous at the time, sir.
How'd you come to that conclusion?
Well, first I was going to pop this guy hanging from the street light, and then I realized, he's just working out. And how would I feel if somebody come running in the gym, bust me in my ass while I'm on a treadmill? Then I saw this snarling beast guy, and I noticed he had a tissue in his hand. I realized, he's not snarling. He's sneezing. Ain't no real threat there. Then I saw little Tiffany. I'm thinking, 8-year-old white girl, middle of the ghetto, bunch of monsters, this time of night with quantum physics books. She about to start some shit, Zed. She's about 8 years old. Those books are way too advanced for her. If you ask me, I say she's up to something.
See, good old-fashioned street instinct where you're just like, wait a second, the little girl's weird. It's all these aliens and monsters, and she's walking down calmly. That's how my brain works. And I'm explaining that to you because, well, you listen to this podcast, but also because last August, when Hailey Bieber gave birth to their baby Jack, her and Justin's baby, everyone was congratulating them. They were like, yay, yay, yay. And then here comes me. I noticed little Tiffany. I noticed this really strange pattern of articles that registered to me as a Hollywood attack on Justin Bieber. I sensed that he was going to go through a black propaganda campaign. I'll explain what that is. But first, we're going to go back so I can show you what I'm speaking about. It was very strange articles about his relationship that stood out to me during this time. Take a listen.
Me too.
But it was actually something else that caught my eye about this pregnancy and this birth. And it was that leading up to it, just a few weeks before they gave birth. So Hailey Bieber was very pregnant. Suddenly, there were a series of attacks on her and attacks on their marriage. And I'm just giving you just like one of these, showing you, I guess, a bunch of these headlines that came out, essentially saying that Justin Bieber was miserable and that Hailey was blowing through millions of his fortune on her wild luxuries, including a second engagement ring that was worth $1.5 million. You can see another one here in the corner says Bieber having marriage issues, and desperate Justin Bieber accepted an offer from an Indian couple to do their gig for $10 million to keep up with Hailey Bieber's excessive spending. I mean, that's stupid. You offer me $10 million to come sing at your wedding, I will be there. I will learn to sing for $10 million. I will sound like Aretha Franklin. You offer me $10 million to come sing at your wedding.
You got that right.
So yes, all of these articles started popping up. And what I basically said in that episode was that Justin Bieber was going through a black propaganda campaign. I'm just extremely in tune with that. One, because I've survived a black propaganda campaign. I know what it looks like when powerful people in the background have decided that they want to take you out. And I was made to be in tune with this for a couple of reasons. The first is that the first time that I had even been exposed to this idea of Hollywood operating like a gang, meaning that if you try to get out, they will destroy you. I was told that by Kanye West, obviously my friend. He was explaining this. I was not up to date on Hollywood, how Hollywood was established. I hadn't read the necessary books, but he was explaining to me that they will take everything from you, literally everything from you, if they cannot control you. We all remember this. We all remember all of the headlines. Kanye's crazy. He's really lost it, whatever. But I just listened to him and everything that he was saying. And while it sounded unique to me, obviously, as someone who is not in Hollywood, now that I've dabbled and gone through those things in politics, it's not entirely unlike Hollywood. Perhaps it's much more vicious. But it was clear to me that Justin was trying to get out. It was very clear to me that Justin wanted a new life for himself, but he didn't want to be controlled by people in Hollywood. I remember Ye saying to me also that the network of people that is around you, he kept referring to them as handlers, right? He kept saying, the manager, picture the show Entourage. I've never seen it, but I know that it was very very big, but the managers and the lawyers and everybody that's in your orbit is actually working together, and they're all pretending that they're your friends, right? So when he says in that clip, Justin Bieber speaking about Billie Eilish, and he says, I know that people will be around you and they'll say that they are your friends, and then they'll stab you in the back. That's what he's referring to. He's basically saying that there are all of these people that are pretending to love you, and they don't actually love you. They are there to control you. That is what Kanye said, and Justin Bieber is now essentially replicating exactly what Kanye is saying, but in a very different way, less drastic. And so I just began to notice that because Justin Bieber was getting clean, they were going to have to try to take him out in some way. And the attack on his wife was very obvious to me. That is something that they do. It is something that was also done to me. My PR person said they started getting phone calls. People were trying to figure out if there was an angle to attack my relationship and to attack my marriage. Are they having trouble? Is there trouble in paradise? That is a black propaganda campaign for which Justin Bieber was victim to. And I think this is going on for years. And so Justin Bieber, we now know that the Diddy thing, it must be very hard for him to process and recognize what was actually done to him. Now he has a son, right? So everything changes when you become a parent, and you will do anything to protect your parent. And suddenly you realize how young you were. Like, of course, when you're 13, you think you're old. You're like, I'm 13 years old. I'm ready to grow up. I mean, he had like braces. You think you're 15. I'm all grown up. I'm now having fun. I've got all this money, and all of these celebrities are around me, and all of these people around me love me. And then you become a married person, and you have children, and you're sober, and you find Christ. And you look back and you go, my goodness, I was surrounded by demons. You know, this is why I tell you guys there are books that you must read. You must read Hollywood Babylon to understand that it has always been this way. You must also read The Assault on Truth by Jeffrey Masson. I told you about this guy who was working at the Sigmund Freud archives. The key to all of this is understanding Sigmund Freud psychology, gaslighting. The black propaganda is essentially gaslighting people, right? And understanding that Sigmund Freud, the people that created PR, that created propaganda in America, it's all the same family. They know exactly what they're doing. They are trying to mentally break you when they do these things. And they are now targeting Justin Bieber. And he's not the only one, right? Kanye had to get out, lost his whole family, was called crazy 1,000 different ways. Or you end up like Britney Spears and they severely medicate you. If you try to speak out about anything, it's like, look how crazy she is, but they're actually trying to drive you to the brink of crazy. And if they don't do that, they're just going to try to destroy your reputation. That is what is going on with Justin Bieber. Similarly, Russell Brand. When Russell Brand was a drug addict and a sex addict, Hollywood loved him. Suddenly he gets clean, he gets married, he has kids, he's sober, he's talking politics, and worst of all, he's talking Jesus Christ. And what do they say? Oh, you know what? 20 years ago, actually, when he was a sex addict, it looks like he may have raped someone. That's what the Hollywood does. If you're damaged goods, they want you because they can control you. If you're not damaged anymore, then they're going to try to attack you and other mechanisms because they can't have you revealing the secrets of Hollywood. So we're speaking about Justin Bieber today because he's making some interesting moves. He has currently moved to unfollow his entire previous management team. He's unfollowed Scooter Braun. He has unfollowed Allison Kay, who is his former general manager. He has unfollowed Ryan Good. To be clear, Usher brought on Ryan Good to be Justin Bieber's road manager. And he has also even followed Kenny Hamilton, who was his longtime bodyguard. With everything that we know about bodyguards, things that are coming up in this Diddy case, the weird connection to the Michael Jackson case with bodyguards, it begs the question, why would you unfollow this person? And by the way, Kenny Hamilton, someone slid in his DMs and said, hey, why did Justin Bieber unfollow you and block you? And he's like, I have no idea why. You have probably an idea why. Okay, you've been around him. You've been around his entire life. You've seen what he has gone through, and you sat by and did what? Like, I was just doing my job and letting a teenager be involved with these sorts of people, knowing that he was definitely probably plied with alcohol and making decisions. And even potentially, if the Diddy ring is proven to be true, and I think that it will be proven to be true, even potentially recorded, doing things that he would never have done in his sober mind, for the purpose of being controlled and manipulated so that he would never engage in wrong think in Hollywood. Justin Bieber is sending a strong signal that he too believes that there is potentially a lot of power in Hollywood that is manipulating, controlling, and demonizing, possessing people with demons intentionally with the purpose of controlling the message. Hailey Bieber has also followed suit, and she has even gone so far as to have blocked some of these people on Instagram. So we have to ask ourselves, what is going on in the wake of the Diddy case? We can only speculate, but I will tell you what I believe. I believe that Justin Bieber is sober. I believe he is clear thinking, and I believe that he is Christian. And so Hollywood must necessarily take him down. I'm a believer. Justin, got your back. Whenever you want to speak about everything that happened, choose me, pick me. I am your girl. All right, guys, I'm quickly going to tell you about Preborn. You know, I absolutely love them. January is considered Sanctity of Life Month, a time that we honor the over 66 million babies whose lives have been tragically ended through abortion. Sadly, since Roe was overturned, babies' lives are at an even greater risk. The abortion pill accounts for over 60% of all abortions now, making this tragedy available 24/7. But in the midst of this darkness, there is a light that shines through, and that is Preborn. Preborn has rescued over 300,000 babies from abortion. On average, they rescue over 200 babies a day. When a woman considering abortion hears her baby's heartbeat and sees that baby on an ultrasound, the baby's chance at life doubles. Preborn very much needs our help. For just $28, which is the cost of a dinner, you can sponsor an ultrasound to introduce a mother to her baby for the first time. 100% of your donation will go towards saving babies. Donate, you just dial pound 250 and you say the keyword, which is baby. That's pound 250 baby. Or you can donate securely at preborn.com/Candace. Again, that is preborn.com/Candace. All right, guys, let's get into some of these stories. Everybody is speaking about Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg has essentially, in my view, been an absolute monster. He has been an enemy to free speech. By the way, I do not buy the Facebook origin story. Don't even get me started. I could do a whole episode on how I believe Facebook has always been a product of the CIA, that there's this whole ring at Harvard, and Zuckerberg is just like picked as a tool. You know how you always know if something is CIA? When it gets the Hollywood treatment, when they turn it into a movie and they're trying to create a legacy, like this is a film of the true story of what happened. Always means it didn't happen like that once you explore Pentagon's amazing budget that they have. They have offices. They have, like, the Pentagon has offices dedicated to Hollywood films. None of that is normal. Anyways, I don't want to go off on an entire rant. But essentially, Zuckerberg, as we know, went down to Mar-a-Lago. He met with Trump. Make of that what you will. All of these techies now swarming Trump. What I make of it is that Trump should not be engaging in this. I don't like it. My gut intuition says a no-no, a no-go. Obviously, Trump's intuition is telling him something differently, but I have to speak my own mind and remain my own person. And now Zuckerberg has come out of that meeting and he's announced that he's getting rid of Facebook fact checkers. Now, you'll remember notoriously I sued Facebook and Zuckerberg because I lost, I'm not kidding, millions of dollars, okay? That is how active my Facebook account was when they shut me down over telling the truth about COVID. They shut down my account for telling the truth about COVID. We went to court with them, and the court wouldn't even hear the case because half of these judges are bought and paid for. And essentially, the judge came back with a decision that said, well, we think that what the doctor said was true. And now time has passed, and the doctors were clearly wrong about the vaccine.
Think about that. Think about that. I'm trying to tell y'all, we are being fooled even through our government and our court system. Allegedly, right? You got to say allegedly. I never even knew that. She said she sued Facebook and they ain't even freaking get a chance to do the whole case.
Over telling the truth about COVID. They shut down my account for telling the truth about COVID. We went to court with them, and the court wouldn't even hear the case because half of these judges are bought and paid for. And essentially, the judge came back with a decision that said, well, we think that what the doctor said was true. And now time has passed, and the doctors were clearly wrong about the vaccine. And that was thanks to fact checkers who just lied. Full-time just lied and gaslit people that were having reactions to the COVID vaccine. And so Zuckerberg has come out and said, we maybe made some mistakes. We believe in more speech, and we're going to show you guys by getting rid of all these fact checkers. Let's take a listen to Mark Zuckerberg for as long as we can stand listening to Mark Zuckerberg.
Hey, everyone. I want to talk about something important today because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram. I started building social media to give people a voice. I gave a speech at Georgetown 5 years ago about the importance of protecting free expression, and I still believe this today. But a lot has happened over the last several years. There's been widespread debate about potential harms from online content. Governments and legacy media have pushed to censor more and more. A lot of this is clearly political, but there's also a lot of legitimately bad stuff out there. Drugs, terrorism, child exploitation. These are things that we take very seriously, and I want to make sure that we handle responsibly. So we built a lot of complex systems to moderate content. But the problem with complex systems is they make mistakes. Even if they accidentally censor just 1% of posts, that's millions of people. And we've reached a point where it's just too many mistakes and too much censorship. The recent elections also feel like a cultural tipping point towards once again prioritizing speech. So we're going to get back to our roots and focus on reducing mistakes, simplifying our policies, and restoring free expression on our platforms.
Okay, I'm not a hater, so I'll say that he looks a little better with longer hair. He used to look like a lizard, and so I think I just want to first not be a hater and say to Mark Zuckerberg that the long hair is looking good on you. You look more human. That said, I don't really buy anything that he's saying here whatsoever. What does that mean, get back to our roots? Like, now we believe...
Don't talk about the way that man look. That man always look cool. Don't say that, Candace. Don't talk about people like that. Don't do that. We should all try to help people. All the people.
Even free speech because of the election results. Looking good on you. You look more human. That said, I don't really buy anything that he's saying here whatsoever. What does that mean, get back to our roots? Like, now we believe in free speech because of the election results. I would just like to think that you believe in free speech because you live in America. Because you became a billionaire in America. However you became a billionaire, it's a complex CIA story. This is America, and it's given you everything. So I'd like to believe that that would be enough of an impetus to protect free speech. And I will say this, I'm going to, again, try to be as fair as possible, that in terms of our experience now across social media, I would say Meta is the least, and I'm speaking about Instagram, the least heavy-handed in terms of issuing strikes and stuff. TikTok has actually become the worst. I think that has more to do with TikTokers leaning pro-Palestine. But Meta has been fairly decent. That does not discount what has happened in the past and how many people have had their voices completely stifled. And so I just don't really buy that he somehow learned from his mistakes. All of this just feels like an operation to make us trust these people in Silicon Valley again. And I just don't think that I do. So I wanted to share this story because everybody is discussing it. And there are some people, by the way, that are furious about this on Facebook. Look at some of these comments. They're upset. Facebook is heading the way of other antiquated and outdated services. Next person, so disappointed. Kissing the ring was not what I had in mind for better content policy. These people are basically begging for their speech to be censored. Trevor Smith writes, calling fact checkers biased. Facts are facts, but clearly some people want to create their own facts. Sadly, I must now consider what your platform now represents. Okay, bye, Trevor. Get off the platform, Trevor. He's saying literally they got things wrong. The biggest thing being COVID. Like, they could not have been more patently wrong because they went hand in hand with the government and allowed random people under the Biden administration to say, oh, just take that down. It doesn't serve our narrative. So we need you to get this down until we get everybody to roll up their sleeves and get a vaccine. Anyways, they are trying to make good on this by appointing new members to their board of directors, one of them being Dana White, who I absolutely love and I trust with everything in me. I'm telling you, he is a good guy, like 100%. Love Dana White. But I wonder how much power Dana White will have as just one of the members of the board of directors, or if this is all just to make us feel more comfortable. Actually, I should text Dana after this and ask him what he thinks about Mark Zuckerberg. I even think him growing out his hair is trying to make us trust him more. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, I just wanted to get to that, to let you guys know that is apparently happening if you are interested in engaging in Facebook content again. I do think that they were really behind all of these speech restrictions. Speaking of speech restrictions, yesterday on my show, I made a mistake. I said that Brett Cooper was coming back this week, and it turns out somebody has pointed out to me that she is actually not coming back this week, so I'm issuing this correction. Where did I get that from? I actually thought that I read this on her X feed. I thought that she said that she'd be posting some content when she crossed 500,000 subscribers. Updating you guys on this story, by the way, in general, because I have been obsessed with it. Like many people on the internet, I have never seen a story generate so much content. But eventually she will be coming back. She meant in the new year, not as soon as the new year begins. Now we know that she left the Daily Wire exactly 4 weeks ago. Like I said, it blew up the internet. I was in London. It began trending. But she hit this amazing metric. I don't think I've ever seen this before. So Brett Cooper has 0 content on her new channel. You can't even find her new channel. Like if you type in Brett Cooper, you can't find her new channel because there's no content. So the algorithm doesn't understand what you're looking for. And if you're looking for it, you have to type in @BB or @B Brett Cooper. So 2 B's, @B Brett Cooper. 0 content. And look at this. Brett Cooper is at 543,000 subscribers. That is incredible. That is an amazing feat. That is just something I should be jealous of her. I should be rooting against her. Like I've never seen this happen ever before. And not even that, but her old channel has basically lost almost that many subscribers. There's this website called Social Blade where you can see how people are gaining and losing. This is a screenshot of her old channel. The comments section has lost.
Yeah, that's what we use. We use Social Blade a lot to see, to help with our analytics and how we select videos and how we try to get our channel to grow more. So shout out to Social Blade. They're not all that accurate, but at least they give you a good starting point.
420,000 subscribers over the last 30 days. Again, that is these numbers are positively astonishing. I can't think of a single time ever on YouTube that I've ever seen a channel lose that much or gain that much. And it just really signals that she is truly a star, but also that her fans are just standing by her in an incredible way. And you saw this, by the way, she spoke at Turning Point USA. Talk about really understanding how much of a celebrity she was. I'm embarrassed to say I didn't even realize how much of a celebrity she was. She's obviously bigger than me. She's bigger than she was bigger than everybody at the Daily Wire. Okay, she was apparently. And this is the side-by-side of our RSBN did a live feed of Turning Point USA's America Fest. And this is her old employer, Ben Shapiro, speaking. He spoke there. Brett spoke there. Look at these views. Her views, almost 500,000 views when she spoke compared to when Ben spoke, 4,000 views. So she must be feeling great. And I'm very much looking forward to her coming back. And I wanted you to understand why, because I think some people, when I covered the story, thought that there was I just didn't like the Daily Wire, whatever. I'm over that. I could care less. I'm so moved on in my life. I genuinely wish everybody the best. Don't care. The reason why this story was so big and why so many people covered it wasn't because of any particular feeling about Daily Wire. It could have been the Blaze, it could have been anybody else. It truly is a meaningful story for all of us content creators and also for the audiences that watch us and invest in us, because I have to tell you something, it is not easy to produce an interesting show 5 days a week. Okay. There are days when you really don't want to do it. You're not feeling that good, whatever it is that's going on. And you're like, there's nothing to talk about. And so for any podcaster that is committing to that, they are working tremendously hard. Understand, they are working tremendously hard because they don't want to let their audiences down. And whether that's Tucker Carlson on Fox News or Brett Cooper on YouTube, they're doing it because they love it. And the reward is obviously the audience. The reward is that you guys come back. The motivation is you guys. So if we cross over into a different season of our respective lives, there's always this feeling like, okay, it's man versus corporation. It's David versus Goliath. It's, okay, did people just invest in the corporation or did people actually appreciate the work that I did? And in this circumstance, every independent creator is watching this going, my goodness, the audience really loves us. You know, they love what we do. They appreciate what it is that we do in the same way that we appreciate them making those investments. And so that really is the interest in the Brett Cooper story. And I can't wait to see when she comes back. I'm assuming it's going to be soon. I don't have a particular date, but I did want to issue that correction because yesterday I said she's coming back this week and I was just wrong. All right, guys, I just want to also throw it to American Financing because I know that there are so many people that are trying to get our finances in order and start the year off right. There is some great news for homeowners because it's great. 800-79. Let's get through the facts. I think everybody, obviously, it's only been 35 minutes. Let's talk about the Vegas Trump attack. A lot of conspiracies flying around. Okay. So let's just get through the facts. I think everybody obviously saw this happening. Here's a photo. And when I say saw this,
Now, I got three different, on this story right here, three different stories, and I want to see what story she has. Now, this guy that they're talking about was in the military, and he tried to reach out before this date for some reason. The date is very important, and he tried to reach out to tell people something. So this whole thing is a setup, and it's a message. This is what the military people that's following this story is thinking. But check it out. Let's see. Let's see what she says.
I mean, just on your social media feeds, we're wondering what was going on. You had the New Orleans attack, which we haven't even gotten to. Like, I'm so backed up on stories. And then immediately after, we had this terrorist attack happen, and we're wondering if these attacks are related. It turned out, and these are just the facts of the story, is that Matthew Livelsberger, a 37-year-old Green Beret from Colorado Springs, shot himself in a Tesla Cybertruck just before it blew up outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Again, that was on New Year's Day. And then came the manifesto. There's always a manifesto, which I find to be incredible. I don't really know how much I believe in these manifestos or if it's just like written by feds to tell a certain story, but you guys know where I'm at. I read the book Chaos. I have no faith in our government at all. He left notes allegedly saying that the explosion was a stunt to serve as a wake-up call for the country's ills. That's what the investigator said, at least. He also wrote notes that he left on his cell phone that he needed to cleanse his mind of the brothers that he's lost and to relieve himself of the burden of the lives that he's took. To be clear, he served in the Army since 2006, and he was deployed to Afghanistan twice. And allegedly, he wrote in this manifesto, quote, "This was not a terrorist attack. It was a wake-up call. Americans only pay attention to spectacles and violence. What better way to get my point across than a stunt with fireworks and explosives?" He allegedly wrote in a letter that was found by authorities and that they were released. Although you basically had the FBI saying that it appeared to be a tragic case of suicide involving a heavily decorated combat veteran who was struggling with PTSD and other issues. Do you buy that story? Do you buy that someone as decorated as him does something like this? Clearly, I would say it wasn't meant to harm anybody. This was contained to just himself, that he shot himself and blew this up because he was upset about his wife potentially leaving him. They also said that there was a kid that wasn't his, that he found out was not his child, and that despite being decorated through all of this, he just had a psychological breakdown and decided to rent a Tesla and explode it outside of a Trump tower. Of all of the things to rent, a Tesla, Elon Musk, outside of a Trump tower, what would be the reason for that? Well, Sean Ryan has a podcast, a very big podcast, and he had a person on named Sam Shoemate, who was a former intelligence analyst who realized that he had received, he believes these to be true emails, emails from Matthew Livelsberger. The internet is trying to debunk these, and they're saying like, no, these are not real. This is not actually him. We have not officially received word from the FBI about whether or not it is him. But I'm going to let you listen to what they are alleging on Sean Ryan's podcast, that this person, Matthew Livelsberger, emailed in the days leading up to this quote unquote, I guess you could just call it an explosion on New Year's Day. Take it away, Sean Ryan and Sam Shoemate. This is the email, again, that they are reading that Sam Shoemate received from Matt Livelsberger. Take a listen.
So this email came in on December 31st at 10:42 a.m. That is Tuesday. He said, "In case I do not make it to my decision point or on to the Mexico border, I am sending this now. Please do not release this until 1 January and keep my identity private until then. First off, I am not under duress or hostile influence or control. My first car was a 2006 black Ford Mustang V6 for verification. What we have been seeing with drones," he puts that in quotes, he says drones, "is the operational use of gravitic propulsion systems powered aircraft by most recently China and the East Coast, but throughout history, the US. Only we in China have this capability. Our OPSEN, that's Operations Center, our OPSEN location for this activity is in the box below. China has been launching them from the Atlantic from submarines for years, but this activity recently has picked up. As of now, it is just a show of force, and they are using it similar to how they used the balloon for SIGINT and ISR, which are also part of the integrated comms system. There are dozens of those balloons in the air at any given time. The so what is because of the speed and stealth of these unmanned aircraft. They are the most dangerous threat to national security that has ever existed. They basically have an unlimited payload capacity and can park it over the White House if they wanted. It's checkmate. U.S. government needs to give the history of this, how we are employing it and weaponizing it, how China is employing them and what the way forward is. China is poised to attack anywhere in the East Coast. I've been followed for over a week now from likely Homeland or FBI, and they are looking to move on me and are unlikely going to let me cross into Mexico, but won't because they know I am armed and I have a massive VBID. Let me pause right there for a second. So he says a massive VBID. When I was talking to the FBI yesterday, they didn't know what a VBID was. I had to explain what that acronym meant, literally.
You serious?
Dead serious. I said it twice,
Okay.
and he goes, you said that.
So we can come out of that. So basically what's really interesting and what's compelling to me about this is first and foremost the attacks that Sean Ryan endured. And in part, he endured those attacks because when he showed that email on his show, and I can show you that if you want to pull the email back up, you can see that there was this squiggly line, which implies that the email is being written, and people noticed some weird spacing in the email that applied that this was not essentially a screenshot of an email that came in. And Sean Ryan said, yeah, no, we copied it and we pulled this out because we were putting it into our database. And then the person that he was hosting basically said, no, I sent them the email as a screenshot. If they copy and pasted or whatever it was, and that was manipulated after, it wasn't because the email wasn't real. I believe them after they shared the original and all the content. And it did just seem like people were really just attacking Sean Ryan for what was actually a very interesting piece of journalism. And I'll tell you why I found this to be an interesting piece of journalism. You guys might recall that I had on Ashton Forbes.
They was more interested in getting the information out to you, not the look of the email, but what was in the email, the data, the information. When you copy and paste and put it so you can put it into a video and stuff, it's the same information. They not thinking of showing you receipts or showing the proof or keeping the proof uncontaminated. They're not thinking like that. God,
It just seemed like people were really just attacking Sean Ryan for what was actually a very interesting piece of journalism. And I'll tell you why I found this to be an interesting piece of journalism. You guys might recall that I had on Ashton Forbes. And if you haven't watched an episode that you should, like what happened to MH370, that plane that disappeared. And one of the things that he spoke about, and I was not educated about this whatsoever, was he was essentially saying that the government was hiding technology. The exact same thing that is in this email that he alleges was sent to him from Matt Livelsberger. And essentially what Ashton Forbes was saying is that there is there is 0 point gravity that exists, that they are able to manipulate gravity. And specifically, Ashton Forbes was saying that it was this war between China and the United States, that that our government has had this technology and has been hiding it from the public from a very long time. And so now you have an entirely unrelated situation that has nothing to do with MH370, nothing to do with Ashton Forbes. And this person is emailing to allege the same thing. I think that we should look further into that. I don't think this should just be routinely dismissed. I don't think there would be any reason for Sean Ryan to engage in fraud on the public. He's at the top of his game, the top of his podcasting game. And from every angle that he and his producers looked into this email appeared to be legit. And so
what benefit? What would benefit him to fraud his fans and stuff now when he'd been bringing out so much facts, information? Just like this channel, we try to bring out facts. Go look up. There's a car that they made that don't have any tires on it, no propellers or anything. It just hovers over top of, and it's like look like an egg-shaped type thing. I don't know what they want to call it, but it's a hover car where it actually hovers over the ground a little bit. It's a magnetic field that pulls on something on the core of Earth or whatever. And I seen this a couple of years ago, so I'm going to try to look that up. Maybe we can talk about that on the live stream. Here we go. But they had this technology and they showed it. They got YouTube channels showing this technology. So my point is the technology does exist. I've seen it.
Fraud on the public. He's at the top of his game, the top of his podcasting game. And from every angle that he and his producers looked into this email appeared to be legit. And so I'm not going to trust a bunch of people in the intelligence community essentially coming out and saying this email is not legit or this isn't real. I would rather trust internet sleuths who are very good at determining what is and is not real and understands that our government has been invested in hiding these sorts of things for a very long time by calling everybody crazy. And I would also like to trust decorated vets who put their lives on the line for this country above trusting the people that would let them die in a war tomorrow. And so I'm interested in this. I'm looking at more things. It also reminded me, by the way, these allegations about the government being able to manipulate gravity and having that technology and lying about it to the public have been going on forever, since before you were probably even born if you're listening to this podcast. And I want to bring to your attention, I actually should have told the producers to pull this up, but there was a guy named Milton William Cooper, okay, or otherwise known as Bill Cooper. And he was an American who served in the military. He was also decorated. He was a sergeant. He did tours in Vietnam. He received 2 service medals, and he worked in naval intelligence. And he came out and he wrote a book. And I have not read the entirety of the book. I just actually read the first 2 chapters. It's on my list of books that I wanted to get to. But he essentially, the book is called Behold a Pale Horse, throwing that to Revelations in the Bible. And he, before it ever happened, predicted that there were going to be school shootings. The government was involved in psychological experiments. In the book, he described HIV and AIDS as man-made diseases used to target specific groups like Blacks and Hispanics and homosexuals, and that they had the cure before they had even allegedly made HIV and AIDS. And he was considered completely crazy. Like, this was going on in the 70s. And he also said that the government had this sort of 0-point gravity technology that they could use, and that when he was serving, he saw it with his own 2 eyes, and that after they had used this UFO, if that's what you want to call it, in front of them, they were all screamed at and basically told that they would be killed if they ever spoke about it. So for so many people over the course of so many decades to be saying the same thing, and for these people to be in the military and to be decorated, I struggle to dismiss them after having read books like Chaos and recognizing just how far and through what lengths our government will go through to protect secrets and to manipulate the public and to keep themselves in power while keeping the rest of the public dumb and deluded. And again, also engaging in these sorts of black propaganda campaigns of always referring to people as crazy and they've lost it and that's it. So I just wanted to say that I think that that's a story that begs a little further investigation, and I'm always willing to do a little further investigation. So I will keep you guys afloat on what I discover. Great work, by the way, to Sean Ryan, because it's not easy being an independent podcaster and putting your neck on the line to expose something and then basically just having people just completely chomp your head off because they're like, how dare you go away from the narrative? You've lost it. You're crazy. My favorite thing last year was everyone was saying, the black propaganda campaign was, Candace is suffering from postpartum psychosis. And little did they know, I was pregnant, so it can't be. Can't be. Ha ha ha.
Go, girl.
All right, guys, before we get into some of your comments, last year we voted big government out, and efficient government in. Well, now it's time to take action against those big wireless companies. So if you are still using Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, the question is why? You can make the switch to Pure Talk, which is my cell phone company. Pure Talk will give you the exact same service on the exact same towers, but with better customer service because they are based right here in the U.S. Pure Talk does all of this for literally half the cost. There is simply no need to spend $85 or $100 per person on your wireless bill, not when you can get unlimited talk, text, and 15 gigs of data with a mobile hotspot for just $35 a month. The average family of 4 saves about $1,000 a year with Pure Talk while enjoying America's most dependable 5G network. So cut your wireless bill in half today. Switch to Pure Talk by going to puretalk.com/Owens. And right now you'll save an additional 50% off your first month. Again, that's puretalk.com/Owens.
Miss Owens, I'm letting you know as soon as I finish this video, I will be changing to Pure Talk because you said so. Now, if my stuff start acting up and going crazy, we got Verizon in the house. Yeah, we're going to give them a call. We're going to give them a call ASAP. In fact, I should do it on the live stream. The live stream already started, y'all, and I am still shooting these videos. We're doing the best we can.
All right, now we are at time, so let's get into some of your comments before we have to go away. First up, we have Princess 3808. She writes, Justin looked into his son's eyes and wants to save him. Yes, I don't know why I was getting so emotional watching Justin Bieber. I think I'm just the believer, guys. I don't know, but it's a lot because I just know those changes when you become a parent and you want to do the right thing. And I know what he's up against. And I know that his parents have spoken out in the ways that they could. Hailey Bieber's parents have spoken out in the way that they could. Pastors have that are working with this couple have said, please pray for them. You have no idea what they're up against. And I feel like I have an idea what they're up against. And so I do think it is worth praying for Justin Bieber. Mr. John Adams writes, Justin went through so much. I am so glad he has turned to God and that he can use this as his testimony. I wish he would speak out. He can lead so many young people to God if he did. Give him time, he may, or just appreciate that in his own way, he is speaking out. And again, I'm not saying this to issue some sweeping condemnation of the people that were around him. And maybe he's falsely blaming them or realizing they're not his friends, whatever it is. Like, we can't assign nefarious actions to all of these people. But I do think that we are reading this correctly in terms of what Hollywood is, especially when you look into the Hollywood origin story. And it was always a tale of blackmail and lies and really operating like a gang that people are just not allowed to leave. Once you're in, and you're not really allowed to be out unless you're willing to blow up your entire career. And Justin has sold his entire catalog. He's like, I don't care about the money. I want my wife. I want my family. I want a real chance at life. And that was the vision that his mom had for him. She wrote that she wanted him always just to be a Christian singer. And she never really wanted him to go into Hollywood. She had him when she was 16. I know some people blame her for having let him be exposed to those sorts of people. But who knows? Maybe she trusted them. Maybe she believed that they were her friends. Nobody knows, but more is most certainly coming out now. We have Pearl Howland who writes, I am so excited to see you at your Auckland show. Yes, I'm going to New Zealand. Me and my friends are flying up from the South Island to support you. See you soon. Lots of love. I am so excited as well. I have been so keen to go to New Zealand. I was so sad when I was banned and then super happy when I was unbanned very quickly. I'm really grateful to the New Zealand government for seeing the injustice and how insane what Australia, one man in Australia did unilaterally. And hopefully, I feel very hopeful about our case that is moving forward in Australia. And hopefully we get a reversal there as well, given the facts of the case. Super Axiom writes, Zuck sees where the popularity is. He is moving with it. I don't trust him as far as I can see him. Then we have Pearl, Just Pearly Things. She has her own YouTube channel. She said, did you say being a podcaster is hard? Please. Yeah, I said, no, actually, Pearl, what I said was if you want to be a good podcaster and actually create good content and not just be a person that just full time says awful things about women at all times and no matter what, can't say one nice thing about a woman because that's your brand, then it's probably really easy to be a podcaster on YouTube. Alaska Dog Lady says, I'm a proud anti-vax mom since 2009. Thank you for a shot in the dark and your support of RFK. Have you read the book Dissolving Illusions? If not, it's a Candace must. Yes, I believe I even mentioned Dissolving Illusions. Was that the one that was written by Suzanne? I can't think of her last name. But anyways, yes, there are tons of books that I have recommended on the Shot in the Dark series. And I know I told you guys that we would have it back at the beginning of this month. We are now delaying that until the end of this month because we're trying to get the platform just right. We're creating our own platform where we can put all of the content that would not survive a YouTube censorship check. And we're really excited about that. A Shot in the Dark will be there, plus interviews that we couldn't possibly air here that would be banned, plus the interviews that do get banned here that then are trending somewhere else. Like today, randomly, a snippet from my conversation with Tristan Tate is trending on Twitter. It's got like 5 million views, and it was a conversation that was banned on YouTube, but available on Spotify. Anyways, you guys, that's all we have for today. If you want to continue to support the demonetized YouTube show, I beg of you, I really encourage you, if you can, if it's within your financial limits, even if you give $1 a month, it really helps us to keep this show free and for me to just keep saying what I want to say without having to worry about the financial pressure of YouTube saying that I can't be here. The website to go there is candice.locals.com. We appreciate anything that you can give. And that is it. That is the show for today. I swear tomorrow we're getting to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. We absolutely must. I can't keep promising it and just dangling the carrot and then pulling it away from you guys. So tomorrow, be there or be squared.
Candace Owens, y'all, sorry, the video, the mic was down. I tried to bring the cleanest recording I can bring. She hit the nail. She hit the nail. She hit the hammer right on the nail. Is that how you say it? Anyway, check this out. What she was saying and what she brought to you guys about the military thing is the exact same thing that I was thinking. And also the guy that was reading the email was saying that he really, really thinks that this guy chose a Tesla because the car can drive up there by itself with an unalive person already in there. And when it blows up, all you see is this person who was already alive when it got there. So that's a conspiracy of allegedly. So, and they think the guy that wrote the email has already fled and faked his death to actually try to reveal that allegedly in some type of war, I don't know which one it was, I'm not that deep into the story, the United States knew that they killed unalive, should I say, a lot of innocent people in a war in another country, man, and that's not good. That's not a good look for the United States. Anyway, Justin Bieber. I'm hoping that Justin is okay, and the Justin Bieber thing is pretty intense, man. And y'all pray for him. I think he just want to forget all of it. I got about, I don't know, he probably got about $4 or $5 million put aside to live the rest of his life. Another $1 million for his son or whatever, and they got some income coming in, and they just want to be out of it. I don't want to be a super duper millionaire and a super duper star. I just want to raise my kid. So that's how Justin's looking at it. Now, let me tell y'all what we're about to do. The Music Recording Network is about to travel. I'm going to be showing videos of me traveling. Our channels are here to help people. Stay with me for a minute. Our channels are here to help people. So I'm going to be going out to different places. I'm trying not to tell y'all exactly where I'm going to be, but it's going to be an adventure, and you're going to see some big smiles on people's faces that because of you guys watching these videos are actually subscribe to the channel, hit that bell, and keep looking out, man, because it's going to be about X amount of days. X amount of days. You notice I said it twice, right? X amount of days. X amount of days is when we're leaving. I'm trying to keep it hush-hush because I'm trying to surprise some people, and every now and then they watch the videos and stuff. So I'm hoping that I'm not leaking out, put my foot in my mouth. But seriously though, man, we are raising money to help feed. We got a fundraiser called Feed that we're not really pushing yet, but a lot of people have donated to the channels, and a lot of people just watching the videos and stuff. It's a donation. So put in the comments, feed F.E.E.D, food eaten every day. Feed. That's our fundraiser that we're doing. And put in the comments, I am a ender on Quad Squad. Quad Squad. I'm not here by my echo. Find out what that is. Like, what does Quad Squad mean? You could become a Quad Squad. You could become part of our squad. Oh man, our family. Quad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quad Squad. That's a tongue twister for Uncle Mike. Anyway, put that you're an ender. Let me know that you made it to the end. Put Quad Squad. I want to become a Quad Squad. All that good stuff. If you made it to the end, you are the best. You are helping. Y'all take it light, take it slow. Y'all tell them Uncle Mike told you so. Peace out. Quad Squad. Quad Squad. I got to remember that. That's a tongue twister. Peace.